Okay, a quick little thing, hopefully quick, about setting up testing emails out of Sightline. And first thing we're going to do here is go to our setup on our intranets. Make sure we have the right intranets. Different conversation down here. So intranets general, blah blah blah. Number one, send email notification. We definitely want that set, checked. Number two, down in the reporting, make sure we have our server. Our this is just kind of a alias from, I could say blah 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 and it'll show up. But this actually matters. That's the username for the authentication of this server, and the authentication itself is basic. Password, port, SMTP is usually 25. This particular server is 80 because it's faked out, and it's just going to be a network delivery. So there's that. The next thing you need to have is in the user profile that you're going to be sending, you want to have an email address in here. So you just kind of add your primary email address, whatever it is, and then put it into the email addresses here. And this, I heard in version 10 this kind of doesn't matter anymore, but I don't know. And by the way, this, if you're using the background task or the intranets here for like reporting, sending reports, it's actually going to use the Taskman as this sender, so this isn't as important, but once you get into doing workflows or something else, it will matter indeed. Okay, so I've got that set up. I've got close my sites and entities because I was just in there. Got my intranet set up. The next thing I need to do is have a test, a valid test, which is going to be here in my report options. I go out and pick a report that I want to have go to Acrobat. Over here in email notifications, let me guess a little size in here. Email notifications, yes. Attach the report, I just do that, make sure that's working, and that's that. So this is my job material pick list. If I go up to my job packet, which prints the job material pick list, and the 132 column one, I go ahead and hit print, and what is going to happen, then I go out and look at my background task history, blah blah blah. Fast forward, it worked because I had a good I just did this a second ago. I had a good SMTP setting here in my intranets file. Now when I didn't, prior to that, we're going to see a test here, blah blah blah, completed. It says it failed, and it gives you a little bit of reason why it failed. Did not properly respond, something. Okay, so the whole ball of wax there, can of worms, whatever you want to call it. But I did use a valid SMTP setup, which by the way is in our AIT cheat sheet. Those credentials are in there, and I'm going to refresh again, have another guy, and task succeeded. We can see someone's in here testing SureShip, which is awesome, yay. But I have an issue with the old credentials that I had. So next thing I want to do is somehow test this, that I can actually SMTP to this thing. And the way you do that from a DOS command is you actually run a telnet command, telnet blah blah blah, which is going to tell me, I don't understand what that is. In order to have telnet, we have to actually install telnet here. So we are going to go into our server manager, add roles and features, basic roles or features. Next, we're going to go down here and do features. And if we go down, scroll down, there's Telnet client, Telnet server. We don't need a Telnet server, but we do want a Telnet client. Let's go next, install. Okay, now it's successful. I'm going to close that. I'm just going to pop a new command shell to make sure it got the message. And what we're going to do is we are going to telnet to our mail server. And tell it what port, and SMTP is port 25 normally, and let's see what happens. Okay, it resolved this IP address. And this is actually the behavior we saw when we were trying to run this from the run that background queue report, was that it took a long while to time out, or it timed out, taking a while to connect. Now for kicks, we're going to go back here to our internet's boom. Try that. Go back here and just make sure that we're not crazy. Paste that, and now this, remember, is port 80. Port 80, and okay. It says hello, and I say, you go hello, and it does something. Requires a valid address. So anyway, yeah, so I know I've got a connection here that this process is working. I'm going to go and quit this. Quit by EX. Okay, it's going to be one of these guys. There you go. So that's about all we can. That's about all we can do for this particular situation with the bad server. We got to troubleshoot this and find out what's going on. However, to do our test here, again with our report options, go ahead and set it up so that it emails, and go ahead and run it. Check through the background task, and then magically take a look at the email we got, which is my pick list with all my happy pick list information on it. Okay, that's a quick tour of the email.